One early morning, James came complaining to Percy. "I had to pull a stinky tanker," he said. "Ugh." "A tanker," said Percy. "You know, when I insulted Toby, I crashed into a tanker." "Ah, yes," said Percy. "I remember that time." And Percy chuffed away with his train. James still complained that morning. Stupid tanker," said James crossly. Now, James," said his driver, "don't try any funny business." Later, Emily was just resting in a siding when James came and gave her a rude bump. "Ouch," she said. "What was that for?" "I have to pull the stupid tanker." Emily was annoyed. "Well, you don't need to bump me," she said crossly, and she puffed away. Then Harold came. "Hello, James," he said. "How's your day going?" "Terrible, because I have to pull a stinky tanker." "Oh, yeah. Emily told me." "Ugh," said James crossly. He just raced away. James still complained about the tanker. "This is gonna ruin my splendid paint," he said. "Oh no," said James. He screeched to a halt. "Ah, my oil!" cried the tanker. "Be careful, you silly red clown." James had had enough. He raced back to the station and furious. James uncoupled from the tanker and banged the tanker so hard. "Ouch!" cried the tanker. "What was that for?" "Serves you right," said James. And then James coupled up to the tanker. "Take this," and the tanker fell into the seaside well. "Oh no, this is where the children play," cried the tanker. "Good," said James. "Hope your oil comes in there, and then they'll complain to Sir Top Hat to scrap you." Sir Topham Hat came on board Rosie. "James," he scolded, "you have caused an amount of confusion and delay today by complaining, bumping Emily, and bumping the tanker so hard that most of its sand has spread out." "Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. And as for you," Sir Top Hat shouted while the tanker was laughing at James's misery, "you are now going to stay there from now on until you learn how it is to be a really useful tanker than a really silly tanker. And James, you will be staying in your shed for the next week." "Yes, sir," said James. He was James was losing words a bit, like the narrator. "Shut up! Ow!" And since then, James has learned never to complain again, even when he's pulling freight cars. And the tanker has learned that he should never test engines' tempers. What do you think?